Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Take the Two Nrl Podcast. Just three, one, two, three. Out of shape blokes that are qualified armchair critics at the highest level. G'day, Vossi and Frosty.
Hello,
Hey, boys.
How are we this week?
Going
Too
good,
bad,
boys. You
thank
broke the
you.
drought, Davey. The old Eagles cost us our triple.
Never
The Tigers
mind.
lost, the Eagles lost, and you buggered it up.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, good win.
I'm glad you're happy there, mate.
We've got a disclaimer off the top of the show here. Fully, aka Braith, I've got to apologise. Last week, I canned the hell out of your New South Wales selections, even though they were shit.
Yeah, don't worry, mate. I've only just recently taken off the band-aids from all the wounds, so that's all good, mate.
I think you got 2 out of 17, Dave.
Yeah, probably. Yes.
Just before we get into that, boys, just like to take this opportunity to thank our viewers, listeners for liking, sharing, subscribing, even deleting, or whatever it takes for you to enjoy your Take the Two experience. We appreciate all your feedback and comments or constructive criticism. All right, boys, starting off, some topics to wet the old whistle. What about we start off with the hip drop tackle? Does anyone want to take a stab at this one first?
Yeah, I'll do the first hit up. I like doing the first hit up. It's bloody confusing, isn't it? Seriously, like I think the fans, the players, they just look so frustrated when it happens. What is a hit drop? What isn't a hit drop? It's just a lottery. I believe that they should put it on report and just deal with it through the week because it's I think it's slowly wrecking the game, and it's going to cost a team a final spot, a grand final, and you just don't want that. It's just so confusing, and sometimes it happens and they go back 3 tackles later and put it on report, but then that's because the player didn't stay down. If the player stays down, then it goes. They get 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's just confusing for me.
That's not hard to confuse you, is it?
No, it's not. It is not.
What's your take on it, Frosty?
I'm the same, mate. I mean, you look at chicken wings and the old crusher tackles and the cannonball tackles. You could work them out, but with these hip drop tackles, it's players lose their footing and they fall onto a player that ends up falling over, and they send them to the bin. Like, it's not as clear cut as some of the other tackles in the past.
Yeah,
it must be so hard for a player.
I remember a few weeks back when Lockie Galvin, he did a hip drop and it was pretty bad, and everyone said, "Oh, it's really dangerous," and someone could break a leg or whatever, and he ended up getting, I think he got 2 weeks, which is fair enough. Fair enough, which I didn't complain about. There was someone on the weekend that did a hip drop. The bloke got injured, and I think he might have got sin bin, but he got off. There was no suspension or anything. So as you said, the consistency's like just gone way out the window.
Yep.
And as you said, us as fans, we have no idea what's going on. Like even one of them, I noticed, was it Joe Offengawi on Kepi?
Yep.
I don't even think Offengawi landed on Kepi's legs at all.
No, he stayed down. That's why.
I think
Kepi is an actor, so
Offengawi's leg was underneath Kepi's leg, not on top of it, and then he pulled out his leg and stayed down. And what happened there? Offengawi, he got a fine, or he
got a fine. Yeah, he got a fine. Yeah.
Like, so it wasn't even a hip drop because he didn't land on top of him. He landed underneath him. So
but it just looks hard for the fans because Latrell got sent off for 10 minutes doing a hip drop, and then Offengawi does a hip drop, but he stays on. You know what I mean? And as a fan in the crowd, you just think, what's going on? Like, it just, like I said, I just think that they need to put it on report and deal with it through the week, because it's not intentional. No player goes out to intentionally do it. And like I said, it's going to cost a team a grand final.
Yeah. Like, what did you think of the Val Holmes hip drop? Did you think it was a hip drop, or was it just unfortunate?
See, that's what we're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, because
I thought it was, but yeah.
Well, Papali's not far out from the line, so Valentine Holmes has to try and stop him somehow.
Has to stop him, yes.
Now, if Valentine Holmes doesn't try and make the tackle and he lets him in to score, Todd Payton goes, "Get off the field.
Yep.
I'm hooking you."
Yep.
True.
So you know what I mean? Like, he's not deliberately trying to do a hip drop, but because he's grabbed him from the side and momentum swung him around to the back at pace, it looks like a hip drop. But yeah, there's big inconsistencies, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so what about, say, in the AFL, where you can't tackle like you do in league, but the only way you tackle in AFL is from behind. So you grab them from the waist and you drop down. You're basically hip dropping all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And they don't get any penalties or suspension. So, and we're us as NRL fans are always worried about our player safety. You know what I mean? So it's exactly the same process in the other game.
In the AFL, you can shoulder charge too.
Oh, well,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Move on.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's just frustrating. Seriously. It cost Parrot the game on the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, we'll move on. All right, boys.
Move on.
Okay, so we're coming up to Origin. We picked our teams last week. There's a few differences. I'll just quickly read out the Queensland team, and then we'll just have a quick discussion on what we think, how they went with the selections and what we think they might do. So they've got Walsh, Coates, Holmes, Fido, Talangi, Dearden, Evans, Cotter, Hunt, Collins, Sewer, Nanai, and Carrigan. And the benchies are Grant, Potawaka. I was going to say Watawanka then. Hopgood and Cobbo. And then obviously 18, 19, and 20 is Kafusi, Piakora, and Ezra Mam. Vossi, what do you reckon? How do you reckon Billy went with that selection?
I like the side, but if I was a New South Welshman and I looked at that side and I see no Cobbo and no Fafita in the side, I'm happy. I don't get those selections, but I like the bench. I like Hopgood, Grant. I think you need another hooker on the bench for Origin. Yeah, but it's pretty good side. Like, I don't think there's many players that missed out that we thought were going to be in there. But like I said, I just believe Cobbo should have been on the wing for Talangi, and maybe definitely Fafita on the bench.
Yeah, okay.
But Hopgood deserves his spot. But like I said last week, I like a back on the bench because I think you need it now with the HIAs.
Yeah. What about you, Frosty?
Yeah, I wrote down Hopgood as well. I thought he deserved it. Obviously, there was a big issue about who was going to play in the halves with Daly, and they were all going either Ezra Mann or Tommy Dearden, but I think Tommy Dearden's better at defence. That's probably why they've gone that way. Jaden Sewer, yeah, I'm not. I would have had Fafita there instead of him, but anyway.
Well, when I look at the Queensland team, I think, but having said that, whenever they seem to put that jersey on, it doesn't matter who puts it on. They step up and they continue to dominate. So, but as for the 5'8", yeah, Dearden was an absolute lock in my opinion. I would have had Cobbo definitely on the wing. I reckon they might they might put Sewer on the bench and start with Watawanka in the front row. And I reckon they'll put Cotter in the back row. And I think they'll start with Hunt, I reckon, and the 20-minute mark or even 25 mark.
Bring Harry on.
Yeah, and then he'll get they'll start playing sort of up tempo. But yeah, it's pretty stock standard what they picked there. We all sort of basically knew that.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
and they're $1.70 favourites for once.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I thought this is a G up. Like someone is it April Fool's Day?
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay, so the blue side at Edwards, To'o, Crichton, Suwali, as you said last week, Frost.
Gotta leave the host alone.
Lomax, Luai, Hines, Travojevic, and captain Robson, Haas, Martin, Crichton, McInnes, and the bench is Yo, Olakawatu, Lenu, and Hudson Young. Do you reckon Madge got it right, Fossey, or?
No, he's got the bench wrong.
You reckon?
Yeah, like, we need it back on the bench. Like, I was speaking to a guy, a mate at work today, and he knows his footy.
What, you don't?
I'm just saying, like, he brought up a good point. Like, Burton would have been a perfect 14. Like, he can play in the centres, can play 5'8", can play fullback. He could even play in the second row. I just think that it cost us last year, and I just don't know why Young's on the bench. Like, I don't mind Olakawadu on the bench because I don't think Martin can play the full 80 minutes, so he's obviously going to replace him on the right side. But Haas and Travojevic, they're going to have to play big minutes because we've got one prop forward on the bench, and he can only play 20 minutes in one hit as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's untried at Origin. I just think Young is a waste there. Like, I think he might start with Yo and put McInnes on the bench because Robson pretty much has to play 80 minutes now. Or McInnes has to play 80. McInnes might start at lock, and when Robson needs a rest, he'll go to 9 and Yo will come on. But yeah, it's like I would probably start with Yo and have McInnes on the bench, but just Young. I just don't understand why he's on the bench. I would have went Burton.
Yeah, apologies. 18th, 19th, and 20th is Burton, Keary, and Barnett too. So, what do you reckon, Frosty?
Well,
bit different to the team that you named last week.
Yeah, it is. I was just going to say to Vossi, don't be surprised. Maybe Hines mightn't play, so there's a chance that Burton may end up playing. So
no, well, they've actually
like
got
he said, he picked the squad. Yeah, but I still reckon he'd probably go with Burton, maybe. But anyway, he said he's picked a squad at the moment because we don't really know about Hines. Suwali, yeah, I'm not keen on. Lomax, I'm not keen on. But anyway, like, it is what it is.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
I would have still stayed with Teddy, but obviously he's gone with like he said from the start, he's going to pick players that are in form, and that's all we can ask. And that's what he's done. And like, whether the boys that he's picked that I'm not a fan of do well or don't do any good, like, we'll see. But we'll see what happens. So we can.
He hasn't made a wrong choice with Edwards. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go wrong. But I like the back five. They're all in form, and that's what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to pick on form, and that's what he's done. But I'm sure that that Keary is on standby for Hines if he's out.
Yeah, righto.
Burton's because I read that he's on standby and he's allowed to play for the Roosters if Hines is past fit. So yeah, see how it goes, eh? Hines will play.
Yeah, well, with the Hines thing, I heard an interview, was it yesterday? He said, he said his calf's feeling better today. Like, if you're injured at all, carrying any sort of injury, surely you're not getting picked.
Yeah,
because you cannot go into an Origin with carrying an injury, especially if you're not an experienced Origin player. Like, he's playing halfback. It's going to be his team. He's basically running that team. And if he's carrying injury, like, mate, there'll be hell to pay if they get beat. And he's playing. And
don't forget, Madge was at the ground and they were leading 22-0. So he might have got into Fitzy's ear and said, "Pull him off."
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get that. Like, he got a head knock, but 20 points is nothing these days. Like, he had to be injured not to go back out there, because no player would not want to go back on that field and try and get their team back into the game. You know what I mean? So there must have been a little niggle there. They said that because he had the HIA, that 15 minutes plus the half time, he cooled down. He felt a bit tight.
Yeah,
So
I heard that.
So yeah, you got to play. You got to play with caution. So, but they reckon, like Fully said, he went and got scans the next day, and they said that his calf looks better than it was the week before. So you can pretty much say he's playing.
Well, I think McInnes, he won't start. Yo will start.
Yeah.
Because Yo will play the whole 80 minutes, and I think McInnes will come on and play dummy half to replace Robson. When he makes his 25 tackles within the first 20 minutes. As for, I think potentially Liam Martin might start on the bench, and I think Ola Kawadu, would be better to start than actually come off the bench for impact, because I reckon it might take him a little bit to get into the game. So prefer him at the start, getting into the game where Liam Martin can come out of the gates like a bat out of hell. You know what I mean? As for the backs, I wanted Dylan Edwards in there from the start. You can't leave him out. His form's too good. Everyone's gone, they should have gave Teddy, the chance. He's a captain, whatever. But everyone forgets real quick. They lost the series last year. He was the captain. I know it wasn't his fault, but he's got to take some sort of blame. He lost the test match. They lost the test match against the Kiwis 30-0, and he was the fullback there. You know what I mean?
And captain.
That's right. And what would be interesting now, if they pick the Australian team in 2 weeks' time, say if they did, I bet you Meninga would pick Teddy at fullback.
Yeah.
So,
probably.
Yeah, it'd be interesting times ahead. But as for Matt Burton potentially coming in, I agree with what you said. I think if Hines is out, I think Keary comes in. And he'll just do like what he did basically in that grand final when Cooper was broken. And as I said for Burton, he 5 weeks ago everyone's saying you got to move him back to centre. He's hopeless. He's not good enough at 5'8". Now all of a sudden they want him in the New South Wales Origin team playing like the rover around the back line. I said, come on, like he hasn't improved that much. You know what I mean? It's only the players around him that have improved at the Dogs. But other than that,
just a question.
Yeah, go on.
Just a question. If Edwards gets injured, and he can't play Origin 2, he can't play Origin 2, who gets picked?
Depending on injuries and suspensions and all that sort of stuff, availabilities, but it'll be Teddy. Don't say Latrell.
So, yeah. No, I'm saying, so you pick Teddy again?
Of course.
Yeah.
I reckon they might pick Latrell. I don't reckon they'll go backwards. I don't think they'll go backwards and pick Teddy.
Like if Edwards gets injured and they need someone for game 2, I won't be disappointed if they pick Teddy. Like I think Teddy's good. But I just think Edwards deserves his chance. So, and we need to come at the Queensland team with a different angle, because they know what they get with Teddy, and we'll see.
They've got New South Wales got a good mobile side here, so it suits the way the game is now, and I think it's going to be a very close game, low scoring game, and let's go the Blues.
I don't want to put the mock on it, but I heard it's supposed to be wet.
I've given up on the weather prediction, so
I threw
the dice in the bin.
But if it's wet and greasy, you'd like to think it'd play into our hand, because he's all about defence. Is Maggie?
Madge,
working tight. So it
is going to be greasy, because the Dragons and the Doggies game, the Para and the South game, the field had Jewel over it. Like, so it is going to be a greasy game, and like you said, Fully, that'll suit New South Wales. Like the Walshes and that will have to calm down a bit. You know what I mean, with that kind of weather. But like I said, good mobile side. They're going to be hard to beat, the Blues.
And what are the chances if it's wet and dewy and greasy, someone doing a calf or a hammy?
No.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
2 or 3.
A big chance.
As long as they're Queenslanders.
Yeah, exactly. All right, boys. We'll just do a recap of the round 12, which was Indigenous round, just before we do the scores. What was your take on the Indigenous round there, Voss?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like I said before, it was good to see what it meant to the players. Like you could see when they did the lineup and the parades and the dancing, all the young kids that were there, they got involved.
Yeah.
Watching that Warriors game, the last game of the round, when they had the Polynesians and everyone sort of come together, you know what I mean? And geez, it was a good spectacle.
Yeah.
But like I said, I really enjoyed it.
What was your take on it, Frosty?
I'm not a big fan myself. I thought it was too close to Magic round. I thought they should have probably left it at maybe another. It's probably to coincide with NAIDOC week or something like that, I'm imagining. But probably if it was another 3 or 4 weeks away, it probably would have been better. But yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, okay, when's Anglo-Saxon round? When are we having that for the Whiteys? When are we getting our round?
You need to put your little black moustache on and put your hand out.
That's not allowed, bossy.
They might say that round's every round, mate.
Yeah, yes.
I enjoyed it. I like the jerseys. I'm not normally a big fan of all these different jerseys for certain rounds and whatever, but a couple of the jerseys sort of caught the eye, and I thought, that's pretty cool, and it's good that they get like the younger generation the opportunity to design them, most of them.
Yeah.
Which is good. The thing that sort of wears a little bit thin for me after a while is the welcome to country, like especially if you're watching every game of the round and they do it before each game. Like it's like if you've heard it once, you've heard it many a times. You know what I mean? Like it's like the other week when they did the 3 games on the Anzac Day. Like we went to the dawn service in the morning and heard the last post and the Trevally and the oath and all that, and then we come home and watch 3 games of footy. Like you're buzzing on Anzac Day. How good's this? You got a day off work and 3 games, and then you've got to hear it another 3 times. Like and you feel disrespectful if you're sort of walking away from it because I've already heard. You know what I mean? Like so. It gets a little bit too much for me, but
actually they did it over the whole round though too, didn't they, for Anzac? Which
that's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same as yeah.
I
understand why they do it.
The only thing I will say is the welcome to countries are very different. Some are real good and some aren't. At least with the oath, they're all usually pretty good.
Yeah, the welcome to country that I liked a few years ago was it Ryan James from the Titans? He did it and he forgot the words and he
forgot the words.
Yeah,
that was the best one.
That'll be me.
No prior training. Yes, me too.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. But
yeah,
once a year is good.
Yeah. Okay. So
Pride round next.
We'll just check the scores. We had the Bulldogs 44 defeated the Dragons 12. What do you got, Frosty?
Well, close. First half was really close. You thought it was going to go either way, and then when Sedley with the shoulder and Bird went, and then obviously Lomax went to the bin later on. Just there was only 2 on the bench for pretty much the whole game in the second half, and they just tired, and the Bulldogs ran over them.
Yeah, but that was a perfect example of a back going down and a forward going into the centres. They just ran amok on that right-hand side. That whole second half. And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to Origin, you just need a back on the bench.
Yeah, that's happened a few times this year in multiple games, hasn't it? Where the back rowers had to go out and defend in the centres, and they just keep attacking that side. And it's like the floodgates get open. All right, next up we had the Cowboys 42 defeated the Tigers 28.
Cowboys out to 20-0. You think, Jesus, this is going to be anything. And then to the Tigers' credit, they clawed it back. When it got to 2016, I thought, hello, they're going to win this game. And then Cowboys just put their foot down again. Little mention, Alex Twal, second career try.
Apparently, he only needs another 210 more, become an all-time try scorer.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Leading try scorer.
I'll tell you what, but out of that game, geez, that Galvin's going to be a player. Wow.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In a good side, mate, he can play, that kid.
So,
rate him big time.
How long do you think before the Roosters snap him up?
I hope the Tigers keep him, because I think he will go right with the way. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to get some forwards.
Well, we got a good.
Clemmer's on old legs, isn't he?
But he's on big money. That's all right.
Well, he's actually suspended now. How long did he get? He got suspended for a while, didn't he?
Was it 3 games?
3 or 4 games. So I reckon that's a good thing for you.
Yeah, still got to pay him though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that second row went well. On the left-hand side.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Not
Finu.
Oh, Fanu.
Yes.
Fanu.
Yes.
Yeah,
Samuel. He's from Manly.
Yeah.
He looks good.
Yeah, we got the 5 brothers.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'd have the 6, but we can't because he's gone away for a bit.
No, the Tigers, they're putting in every week, and they're showing a bit of ticker, and I like that.
I'll give you one of these jerseys down the track.
Yeah.
You're a closet fan. I don't know if it's between the Tigers or the Sharks. I'm still trying to work it out.
Sharks are gone now.
Oh, no.
All right, boys. The Seagulls 26 defeated the Storm 20. Frost?
Yeah. Close game throughout, like they always are, the old Battle of Brookvale. There was a strange decision in the 58th minute. The Storm got a penalty and they took a conversion to bring it down to 4 points, which I found was really weird. Yes.
They took the 2.
Did. They took the 2, and to me it was strange. I thought off that set they probably would have scored a try, and they didn't. But
didn't you hear what Harry Grant said?
Yeah, rumour has it Harry's a big fan of the Nrl podcast.
Yeah, wow.
He said that was for us.
I think it's a bit too early for that, but yes.
All right, boys. Next up, we had the Roosters 44 beat the Raiders 16.
Yes, well, I said that the Raiders would win, and they were woeful. They were woeful. Bradley in the centres murdered them.
Cop that, Ricky.
Yeah.
No DNA there.
I don't think he can. I saw a stat, they missed 60 tackles in the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, unbelievable.
That's definitely not in their DNA.
The
Roosters are just too good.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I thought it'd be a close game, and I thought, as I said, I took Raiders in my multi, and it looked good. 18-6, I thought, the Raiders still a chance, and then they just lost the plot.
Yeah, well, they've named Radley on the edge again this week, so I think they're onto something there.
All right, next up was the reality check. The Panthers 42 defeated.
Bossy, you better say something first.
Bossy Sharks 0.
I've lost my fin.
Wow.
I can't. Mate, that was the best performance I've seen in a long, long time. Like, they were clinical. Their line speed was for 80 minutes. They're just the Warriors unleashed the beast last week. Poor Sharks.
Woke them up, eh?
Yeah.
To the Sharks' credit, they've been up for the last 2 months, and you are going to have one of those games where everything just goes wrong.
Yeah.
And obviously it did. You know, they were woeful. Even with Hines on the field initially, it just
I don't think the Sharks got in the Penrith 20 all in the first half.
They probably didn't.
That's how good the Penrith were. That was a freakish performance.
Oh,
Yep. Next up, we had the Rabbitohs 42. Defeated the Eels 26.
Wow. Well, if only my multis had got up in the first couple of legs, I would have been right. I said 66 plus points, and yeah. What do you say? No defence.
Just didn't turn up.
Nah.
Like I said, I'd love to have a job where I could just turn up 80 minutes every week
and still get paid.
and still get paid.
Doesn't matter how your performance is or not.
The old highlight boys, which is I'm not a fan to say, but Alex Johnson, equal Billy Slater, 190.
Yeah, true.
Tries scored, so congrats to him, and you would think he will beat Irvine for sure. Yep.
Just a matter of when, isn't it?
Well, if he stays on the paddock now, yeah.
Yeah, he's become pretty injury prone, but isn't he?
He is. You think they would get better? I mean, obviously they're not going to probably even make the semis, I don't think, but they're sort of a little bit on their way up. I think that helps winning that game. As bad as
Para plays every team into form. Next.
Boys, the Titans 36 defeated the Broncos 34.
Yeah, what an upset. Yeah. What do you say? I mean, Titans have been on the way up. We keep saying it, and they beat Big Daddy.
It was a good win.
Yeah. The kicking for me, the Titans kicking wasn't great. I think it was only 4 from 7. I can't remember who was doing their kicking, but
the little fullback. No, it wasn't the little fullback.
It was Kelly.
The centre.
I looked at the stats and it was only like he only kicked 4 from 7, and I thought, oh, that's going to cost them. But obviously they scored one more try than what the Broncos did. So
maybe it was Kelly after he missed.
Yeah, I thought I saw Kelly kick a couple, but I can't remember who the other guy was that was kicking them.
It was a good game to watch, but it was end to end, and pretty much it was Broncos score, they score, they score, they score. But the Titans just don't go away, do they? They just do not go away.
Very unusual for a Sunday afternoon game too.
Yeah, I thought the Broncos were going to snatch it at the end when Corey Oates was running down the wing. He reminded me of me day, just getting run down. I thought, oh my God, how do they keep putting him on the wing? Like
I don't know.
Slow, like
I don't know.
I know they got some injuries and whatever. Please give us a break.
Yeah. Imagine him and Sevo on each wing.
At Para.
Yeah. Oh no, don't. Hey, it wouldn't surprise me if Para signed Corey Oates next year.
Trent Barrett's there, he might.
Yeah.
And the last game of the round, we had the Warriors 24 defeated the Dolphins 20.
What a gutsy effort, eh? Missing Sean Johnson, Rocco Berry, Charles Nickel-Clockstadt, Fanua Blake, RTS, Tua Harris, Capewell.
Wow.
Like, listen to that. Like, all not playing.
And that fullback pulled out the last minute too with the birth of his child as well.
Yeah. Which was Charles,
yeah. No, that young fullback that played last week, he pulled out in the last minute. Yeah, because Clocksat was supposed to play in the halves. But that was a gutsy effort. They're back. The Wires are back.
The city's pumping again, eh?
That's my new team.
Oh, here we go.
No.
They're flying.
Okay, all right, boys. The Knights, they had the bye. All right, fellas. What caught your eye from the round? Bossy?
That Panthers performance. Listen to some of these stats. 87% completion. They ran for over 2,000 metres, which is unbelievable. They had only 7 errors, and there was only 1 in the first half. And 5 came late in the game. They had a player sent off. They had no Cleary. Seriously, like, who's going to come close to them when they're fully fit and they've got all their players in? Like, even in I think it was the last 30 seconds, Ronaldo would look to score in the corner. There was 4 of them over there that took him over the sideline. and they went up to the box, and everyone in the box was high-fiving because they kept them to 0. They're just such a clinical side. They're like I said, the Warriors the week before unleashed the beast. They can just turn it on. They're like I said, their line speed for 80 minutes, like not 60, not 50, 80 minutes, and they just choke you.
It was a wake up to the comp.
Yeah,
that's for sure. It was an absolute because I think they were like the same as the Sharks were last week with the Wars. Like they'd been up on that high and they came back down, and it was like it hurt them big time.
Yeah,
and they looked dirty. You know, it's Magic Round, full house. They looked dirty, and
it was pretty much welcome to Origin, Nico. This is what you're going to get, mate. Because he had nothing.
You got Frosty. So you're taking the Panthers as well,
No, mine's the Wars, mate. I'm not jumping back on them, but with what I didn't realise the cattle that were out for that game.
Yeah.
Until during the game, and then I went, wow, like that's. Yes, they've had a real hurdle of late, but they've bounced, and we all want them to be playing okay, like not great, but okay. But yeah, they caught my eye just with the cattle, purely simply with any other team that had that much star performance out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when
I know it's the Dolphins, but wow.
When you break it down like that with all those people out, it does put extra shine on that performance. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Now, since we've been doing this podcast, the running joke has always been when a team gets a penalty, we jokingly say, take the 2, right? So on the weekend, the Sharks, they were down 42-0, and then with a minute to go on the clock, they got a penalty, and a small section of the crowd were chanting, take the 2, take the 2. I thought, is this a cheer? So yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. So.
Yeah, actually, that was good. That was funny.
Believe me, it wasn't me out there at Shark Park saying that. So yeah, that's definitely what caught my eye. I thought it was very funny. So, all right, boys. Next up, we've got what team is flying? Vossi.
I pretty much just said it. I think I don't think there's any team really flying at the moment. Like they're all winning, losing now, but just the Panthers on that win. I think they're just unbeatable now. Like not unbeatable, but no one will beat them this year.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Frost?
I'm the same fully. They're flying too, mate. They not just to the point that they're just letting the whole comp know that hello, we're still here, and we want to go. We want 4 in a row. You know, we're not stopping at 3, and it just scares you. It was just like hello.
Yeah, well, it's the Panthers for me as well. That's the trifecta. Missing Cleary. Luai probably had his best game for ages. Played smart, kicked high, kicked at the same side every kick, and they got a couple of errors out of was it Katoa?
Katoa, yeah.
And then as you said before, Voss, they just strangled him. Too clinical. So it's basically Panthers for me.
I think possibly too, the week before with the Warriors, I don't think they were trying to play as a team. I think they were probably trying to play more as individuals at Magic Round, where I think last week at Shark Park, they went back to that playing as a team and murdered them.
Yeah. You think maybe Ivan gave them a bit of a rev up?
Well, I think they'd probably give themselves a rev up too.
Yeah, definitely. But they've unleashed another half. That goal. Like, where do they get him from? Seriously.
Well, he kept his lunch down or dinner down this week, at least.
Yeah.
Well, they got 10,000 juniors to pick from. Surely they can come up with some halves. That's why I was concerned that they couldn't get a back rower when they were chasing hard for your late mail, David Fafita.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. They just plop, like he'll get signed from another from another club now. Like What'd they lose? That Coggo. They've lost. What's the guy that went to the Dolphins?
It's our.
Yeah. The other guy that went to the Sullivan.
Yeah.
The one that went to Newcastle. It's Cogger, wasn't it?
Yep. Jack Cogger.
Yeah, I mean, they just bring them up from anywhere. Now they got that Snyder.
Yeah.
And Cole in the halves this week. Unbelievable. It will never stop.
It'll stop one day.
Not Army.
All right, boys. What team is skating on thin ice this week? What do you got, Bossy?
Again, like seriously, boys, 80 minutes. Just turn up for 80 minutes. Do it for the fans. Like, how do you let a team that has not scored 20 points all year score 46 against you? I know we lost our coach. It's just not an excuse. I know we don't have any, but we've got a few players out, but so does every club at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not an excuse. It's not fair on the fans. It's just pathetic. It's disgusting, and it's so hard to watch. But I'll watch it, but it's so hard to watch. I'm done.
Mate, how do you think I've felt for the last 2 years?
2 years, 40 years.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. What about you, Frosty?
Disappointing.
Yeah. Dragons for me.
Yeah,
Poor Flano. I thought they're, again, one of those teams like the Titans, they're on that trajectory up, and they're just not buying into Flano's way still at the moment. So he hasn't got a lot of great cattle, but still. But they were woeful. I know they only had 2 on the bench for the second half of the game, but still, you think they'd buy in for each other and for the coach, and they're not. So he looked very frustrated in the press conference afterwards. So
yeah.
What did he say? He said it was almost comical. Did he say that or something like that? I thought, geez, I wouldn't be saying
something that was funny to watch or something like that.
But, yeah, and I thought, wow, that's a bit. Like it wouldn't go down well with the old the fans. That's for sure.
Board, well, the board either probably, but yeah.
All right, boys. My team this week that's skating on thin ice is the old. My concern is right. So, what the Sharks have lost 2 games this year, and the 2 games they've lost, Nico's an absolute howler. Which goes to show if he's not up to scratch, they get found wanting.
Yeah.
As I said last week, he touches the ball so many times, like 85% of the times in each set. I think that the Panthers may have found a way to crack it. They may have found the weakness on that Qatar under the high ball. So I think you might find other teams exploiting that option on a weekly basis. Now, I don't think they kicked to Mulatalo once in the whole game.
No,
not once.
Not
once.
You know what I mean. So that's potentially the blueprint. They've got McInnes out this week, who's an absolute workhorse. Obviously Hines. Is there anyone else missing from the Sharks?
No, that's it.
Yeah, but they're two of their key players. So, who have they got this week? It should be a close. Oh no, they got Para. I'll probably still win.
They'll win.
But to me, boys, it's the Sharks. So we'll just see what happens, So
I think even though with Hines there last week, though, I still don't know if they would have played any good. They just couldn't hold the ball. They just couldn't get out of their yardage. It was a game that I think they were just expected to lose. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure the Sharks, their other loss was against Penrith too. At Penrith, I think they lost like 28. Was it 28-0 or something like that as well?
They lost to the Tigers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was against the Tigers. That's right.
And that day
was too.
That night, Nico kicked out on the full twice against us at Leichhardt.
That's right. Yeah.
One nearly hit me, and I was sitting on the hill. I nearly dropped me
Did you spill your
VB.
beer?
Yeah, so that's my concern.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Moving on to round 13 games. There's only 5 this week, so obviously with Origin.
Surprise. First up.
Yeah. On Thursday night, we've got the Eels at $2.28 versus at $1.63. What do you got for us, Fossey?
For Para, 2 huge ins is Moses and Gutho. Talangi goes back to the bench. Lussick's dropped and replaced by Hands. Offengowie starts at lock, replacing Hopgood, who was picked in the Origin. Congrats to him. And Penasini's back in the centres. And for the Sharks, Trindle's in to replace Nico, who was picked for Origin, and Williams goes to lock to replace McGuinness. Just some stats. Sevo has scored 11 tries in 7 games. Katoa plays his 100th. And the Eels have conceded 30 or more points in their last 6 games. I still think Para are a chance in this if Guffo and Moses play, which they're not 100% confirmed yet. So I think Para can do it without Nico and McGuinness. Like Fully said, they're two pretty much. McGuinness gets them on the front foot and no Hines. And Trindle probably needs a lift to the game too, guys.
You offering?
Someone's got to get him there. Thank God for Uber.
What do you reckon, Frost?
I'm going to go the Sharks. I don't know whether Mitch Moses and Gutho will play, and even if they do, they're going to definitely need a run. So, in saying that, I'll still go Sharks without Hines, without McGuinness.
Yeah, I had the Sharks selected, but then I just remembered I had them skating on thin ice, didn't I? So that's a bit of a contradiction, isn't it? And I don't want to pick the Eels. Like I just, you know how I feel about them. I just can't cop them, and I'm so happy they're going shit. So
it's been a happy 40 years for you, hasn't it?
It has. But can I go the Sharks in a nail biter? I don't know.
Go a draw.
No. Yeah, I'll go the Sharks in a tight one. All right. On the Friday night, we've got the Knights at $1.54 versus the Doggies at $2.49. Bossy?
For the Knights, excuse the pronunciation here, but Mapapalangi replaces Best in the centres, who's out with a hemi, and Sai Feedy replaces Hetherington. And a few changes for the Doggies. Sexton and Hutchison are in the halves. Burton and Crichton are obviously picked in Origin. Carraz goes to the centres, Wilson on the wing. Preston to start in the second row because Kikau's out with a fractured finger. Just some stats. The Knights are going for 5 wins in a row. Armstrong has scored 5 tries in his last 4 games, and the Dogs have won 7 of their last 9 games in Newcastle. Too many outs for the Dogs, for me, like their halves and with Crichton. A lot of changes, and the Knights pretty much are just steady. So for that reason, I'm going the Knights. Up there.
What do you reckon, Frost?
Yeah, Knights for me too. I think they'll miss Burton and Crichton, the Doggies, but at home, you know what the Knights are like. They're usually pretty good. So for me, yep.
Yeah, I think as you said, there's a lot of outs for the Dogs. I'm not totally convinced on the Knights, but home ground, Friday night, you'd like to think they'd get 20,000 there to watch them, and that'll probably get them home, I reckon. All right, moving on to Saturday, big day Saturday for the boys. We've got the Panthers at $1.47 versus the Dragons at $2.70. They are.
For these Saturday games, boys, I don't think it's going to be a recap next week because I don't think we're going to see them. But for the Panthers, geez, there's some changes here. That Laurie goes to fullback, replacing Edwards. Snyder's back in the halves, joining Cole. and obviously Luai's out with Origin. Henry and Smith go to the starting side, replacing Martin and Yo, who are also on Origin duty. And for the Dragons, Fanu comes onto the wing, replacing Lomax, who's on Origin duty, and Max and Matt Fiagi, is it? Replace Bird, who is out with an Fiane, is it? I was close. Like I said, sorry. Who replaces Lomax. And Marchie is a new half replacing Hunt. And Sewer is also on Origin duty. Geez, they've got some changes to the Dragons, haven't they?
Yeah.
The Panthers, I still think their structure and they know what they've got to do. They'll get it done. The Dragons, too many changes. They'll be 6s and 7s. Panthers 13 plus. With Snyder back too. That's a massive in.
You love him.
I like him. I like him as a footballer. Yeah.
What do you reckon, Frost?
Yeah, I think Panthers too good too. But they're like the new baby Broncos. There'll be plenty of young blokes in there, and they get a go to show how good they are. So yeah.
Next man up.
Who's how are both of these teams going in reserve grade?
Panthers are flying, won't they?
If Penrith are going good, I'm picking Penrith because it's basically a reserve grade team in there. So yeah. I think what you just said there, boss. Next man up. They got their system, their structures. They play the same way. Right. Same way all the way through the grades. So yeah. I think it'd be Penrith. Okay. The last game on the Saturday night is the Dolphins at $1.61 versus the Raiders at $2.32. Bossy?
Where is that, Bossy? I didn't actually look. Is that at KO or
back at KO?
Suncorp?
No, it's
right.
It's
up there.
Yeah. I think Suncorp's all chewed up from the games been in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
And the wet weather.
Yeah.
Well, for the Dolphins, Fuller replaces Fido, who's obviously on Origin duty. Nicholas moves to the starting side, replacing Kafusi, who's on Origin duty, but he's not in the starting side, obviously, so he might come back. For the Raiders, Papali returns from suspension. Maratoa joins the starting lineup for Hudson Young, who's also on Origin duty. Just some stats. Ricky has only won 3 of his last 12 games against the Wayne Bennett coach side, which is interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
And Asako has scored 6 tries in his last 5 games. Dolphins too good up there.
Ross?
You know what you're going to get from the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins too. I think Wayne Bennett will be giving all the boys a cuddle after last week's loss and making them feel good about themselves, and too good.
Yeah, I think the Raiders might be on a bit of a slide on the down. The Dolphins have they'll bounce back factor, hopefully. At KO, back at their spiritual home ground. Should be chockers there. I think they'll be too strong.
Yep.
And the last game of the round is the Roosters. Wow, the short of $1.15 versus, I assume, the depleted Cowboys at $5.50.
How many changes, Vossi?
There's a lot of changes here. That Punga replaces Suwali. May replaces Collins. Nat Butcher replaces Crichton, who are all on Origin duty. Wong and Tupanua come onto the bench, which is good replacements. And old boy Jennings, number 17, he's back.
Oh, Jenko's back, eh?
Wow.
Hey! For the Cows, Holmes, Palungi, Nanai, Robson, Cotter, and Dearden are all out for Origin. And Burns, Clifford, Granville, Milakay, and Fine Fua Fawaki. McKaylee.
Thomas McKaylee.
Fua... Who's this guy? Fine Fui Ayaki.
Fine Fuyaki. I have no idea.
He's in the starting lineup anyway.
Junior club?
I can't get him right.
I know he listens, so I do apologise. All right. For the
He'll forgive you.
Stats, Walker has scored 58 points in his last 4 games at Allianz Stadium. Manu has scored 6 tries in his past 5 games. And the Cowboys have lost 3 of their past 4 games in Sydney. Make that 4 out of the past 5 because they just will not win this game. they leak too many points as it is. And the Roosters have still got a very strong side. They're pretty much all first graders, where the Cowboys are just depleted. So, yeah, Roosters 20 plus.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. So that's a biggie.
Yeah, easy.
I think
Teddy, big
Roosters
game.
too. Yeah, I think Teddy will probably score 2 tries, probably. Maybe even a hat trick, but I don't want to say that because I said that with Pappy and he didn't do it for me. So, but they'll be way too strong.
Yeah, it's definitely Roosters for me. And yeah, you watch Teddy come out and blitz them this week. he'll put on an absolute show for sure. And
Definitely.
we got 6 teams: the Sea Eagles, the Titans, the Rabbitohs, the Broncos, the Storm, and the Tigers pick up the old 2 points with the bye. Woo! All right, boys. Who needs a spell, fellas? Who are you throwing in the paddock this week and why? Bossy?
You go, Frosty.
Dragons for me. They're just terrible. I love Flano as a coach and really thought that by now at least they'd start to buy in, and they're not. They look terrible.
Lot
Yeah.
inconsistent, eh?
Way too inconsistent. You could just see it on Flano last week at the press conference. He's just...
A lot of teams have been pretty inconsistent this year too, eh? Like, I know they come under more scrutiny. Teams like the Dragons and the Tigers, and
also with a new coach too, though. They've got to, like it takes time. Even with the Tigers, it takes time for them to adjust to the coach's style, but they're just not.
Yeah, they're going to have an up and down season.
Yeah, that's what I just did.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What about you, Vossi? Did you try and do the old Greg Inglis before and palm it off?
Yeah, I'm palming it off to you again fully. I didn't do it.
It's got to be Parrot, doesn't it?
I've already said they're on thin ice, but I don't want to bag them anymore because they're my side, But maybe Barrett. Losing the South, that'll do me.
I had to think long and hard about this one. There was a few selections I could have come up with, but see, I'm throwing out your mate this week, Adam G.
How come he's your mate?
No, because remember, he was bagging him a couple of weeks ago on the video at the bunker, and he was in the bunker making the shit calls and whatever. Yeah, Mr. Adam G, right? So Jack Bird.
That's a good call, Foley. Good call.
Jack Bird gets injured the other night, 37.5 minutes on the clock, right? He crawls off the field, right? Mind you, you'd think he got shot the way he was carrying on. G allows play to continue for another 107 seconds, right? And then calls time off because Bird's injured with 43 seconds to go before halftime. Are you serious? 43 seconds. He let it go for a minute and a half, just continuing on. Then, as I said, Jack Bird's laying on the ground. So if someone shot him, gets the old stretcher / medicab or whatever they want to call it, gets carted off. They finish the 43 seconds go. They finish the half. And then we find out that Jack Bird's got a syndesmosis, a.k.a. sprained ankle.
And he ran to the hospital. He ran to the hospital.
Yeah, so I don't know. He probably got a call from upstairs the bunker. It's probably his brother. I don't know. But yeah, he's made a few doozies, that bloke. So yeah, to me, he's got to go. He's got to go.
He's hopeless. Seriously, hopeless.
Anyway, boys, moving on. We got multis of the week, eh?
Yes.
Now,
I'm excited.
Have any of ours got up yet? None. So far, we've missed out by a leg here or there.
Yeah, I was close by a point 2 weeks ago.
All right, so Bossy, you wanna take a stab straight up, or?
Yeah, just keep on keeping on, boys. Stick at it. It'll come.
Yeah.
Sevo anytime at $1.50. Roosters 13 plus at $1.50.
Hang on,
Dolphins to win.
didn't you say an ironing board, the stiff ass?
Yes.
Now you're back and you win your money.
Yeah. See you later.
You're
Go to the
awake.
Cowgirls. Yeah.
You're waiting for that, weren't you?
Sorry.
And the
mate.
and the Knights to win at $1.60. It's only $5.70, but put a sneaky little red back on that.
Sorry, can you just quickly recap that? I did rudely.
He's just got to catch the ball. That's all.
So who'd you have? Sevo, sorry.
Sevo anytime.
Yep.
Roosters 13 plus at $1.50. Dolphins to win at $1.59, and the Knights to win at $1.60. That's $5.70. A little sneaky red back on that. There's your weekend, boys.
Well, there you go. That sounds all right.
That's our alcohol paid for.
What do you got there, Frosty?
I've got Panthers 13 plus, the Roosters 13 plus, the Dolphins 13 plus, and the Sharkies 13 plus. $45.20 collect at this stage of the podcast.
Wow.
Gamble responsibly.
Now, I know you're not a big multi fan, but how confident are you with the old 13 plus special?
Oh, I'm confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's two teams there, like Roosters and Dolphins especially. I think they'll bounce back. The old coaches will be into their ear and see what happens.
Well, hopefully Parramatta turn up for at least 50 minutes this week.
Fair enough.
Not under Barrett's watch.
Good on you, Baz.
I've been there. Yeah.
All right, boys. I've gone a anytime try scorers feast. I've got Vossi's mate Mike Acevo to score.
No, the ironing board.
I've got is it Sanua Taruva to score?
Yep.
I've gone David Armstrong to score because he's on a bit of a run. And then I've gone Connor Tracy to score. And that will be a return of $17.07.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, hopefully that gets us out of trouble, especially after the last race on Saturday.
Yeah, that should pay for our grog for the night.
All right, boys. Bossy, you got a joke of the week?
I've actually got 3 jokes today because someone said that they wanted more jokes.
How many of them are clean?
Yeah, but if they're not, you can edit them. So see how we go.
All right,
I saw a one-handed man in a second-hand shop. I told him, I don't think they have what you're looking for here, mate. A family was driving behind a garbage truck and a dildo flies out of the truck and lands on the window of the car. Embarrassed, Mum said, "Son, it's only an insect." "Wow," her son replies. "I'm surprised an insect can fly with a big penis like that." An old woman walked into a dentist, took off all her clothes and spread her legs. The dentist said, "I think you have the wrong room." The old lady said, "You put my husband's teeth in yesterday. Now you can take them out, sir."
Oh, well.
That's it.
You know what you need to do? You need to write it down differently because the way you've written it, it sounds like you're actually reading it.
Well, if only I had a memory.
If only I had a brain.
That's why you only do one joke instead of 2 or maybe even 3.
Maybe just don't worry about the jokes anymore, eh?
No, you got to keep the jokes going.
No, we've got to put some pressure on you. You got to lift your game. We've got to give our viewers a reason to comment, whether it's
and laugh,
whether it's in the black or the red. Well, boys, it's another episode done and dusted. We hope you've enjoyed another brain-numbing experience. We'd like to just remind you, don't forget to like and subscribe our videos. We hope you enjoy the listen. Leave comments, constructive criticism. We definitely get a laugh.
And bad criticism.
We definitely get a laugh at some of the comments that come up. We hope to get back to you, reply to your messages. Keep on moving on, and just remember, if you're ever in doubt, boys, Take the 2. And we'll speak next week, eh?
I'd like to find out who this Brentos is.
See you, boys.